Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton and this is Swing Studio here at Linden Golf Academy. I've got a little pre-shot routine for you all here, and this is what I've generally found with a lot of my pupils as they come in for coaching sessions here at the Academy, is their alignment's a little bit off, the ball position's not in the right spot, they're struggling to aim to target, and then obviously then that affects sometimes what they're doing actually through the swing, and they're making compensations with either path or face to try and get that ball back to target, and obviously it can create a whole world of different issues. So what I really want to give to you guys is very basic here, and hopefully a lot of you guys are already doing this, but if you're not, I'd like you to maybe take this on board and try and build this into a routine when you're out on the golf course. But I want to really give you a sort of pre-shot, get yourself in a good solid position, as square as you can to your target, correct ball position, distance from the ball, posture, everything like that, to give yourself a really good head start of obviously creating a good strike, but also getting that ball at target. So the first thing I want you to really do is to try and start to stand behind your golf ball, pick your target obviously in the distance here, and try and imagine a line running from your target back to your golf ball. And then about 2 or 3 foot in front of the ball, I want you to try and pick something that's on the ground. So I'm just going to use a golf ball here just to make this a little bit easier for this example. And that's going to be on your target line. So that could be, I don't know, a worm, daisy, divot, worm cast, something like that. So as you're setting up to the golf ball, you've got hold of that target in the distance and you've pulled it nearer to where your golf ball is. It's going to make it a lot easier to try and imagine these sort of parallel lines here, the old classic of the railway tracks. Balls on the outside track, the body's on the inside track. Okay. So first thing we're going to really do here is start with our feet together. So the ball's directly in front of our feet, and we're going to present the club behind the golf ball, and obviously we can aim the blade of the club to that point we've picked, because we know that is on our target line. Okay, it's a lot easier to aim to something a couple of feet away than maybe 150, 200 plus yards away. Okay, so we're going to present the club face first to our point. Once we're happy with that, we're then going to take the hold on the club. Okay, so you're going to take your grip on the club from there. And as we're doing that, we're really sort of already established our distance from the golf ball here. So roughly got that hand span away from the top of the club to the top of the legs. Obviously, you're going to be using different clubs on the golf course. They're all at different lengths here. So starting by this, we can get out the right distance from the golf ball here. Okay. So as we take our grip here, we're happy with the club face, and we set that club face in a relation to that target with our grip here. Okay, and we're then now going to take our stance. Now, as we take our stance, obviously we're going to have to change. This ball position is going to change in our stance again, depending on what club we're going to be using at that specific time on the golf course. So, what I'm going to do here, I've got a 7-iron here, so I want to play this maybe just left of centre of my stance. So, what I'm going to do here is take a small step with my left foot and a slightly bigger step with the right foot. Okay, so I would always start with the left foot first, because again, depending on what club you're using, will depend on how big a step this left foot takes. Okay, so for instance, if I had a drive in my hand, obviously we know we want to play the driver more inside the left heel, so I would hardly do anything with that left foot, a little nudge if anything, and take the rest of my stance with my right foot. Okay, so if I do that this way to you, you'll probably see this a little bit easier. So I'll just do that, and then a bigger step with the right foot, and I know I've got that ball position on the inside of my left heel. Okay, so with the 7-iron here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a small step with the left foot and just a slightly bigger one with my right foot until I've got my desired width of stance here. We're talking roughly shoulder width, slightly wider shoulder width, and I've got that position just left of centre, which is where I would want it for a 7-iron. Okay, so we've got our alignment of the club face, we've got our grip on the golf club, we've got our feet together at this stage, and then we're going to take our stance, a small step left foot, slightly bigger with the right foot. Okay. And then what I'm going to think a little bit about now is my posture, my body. Okay, this is probably one of the biggest things I find with a lot of people that give lessons to. Is posture's quite poor. It's very sloppy. It's a bit lazy. Sometimes I get dragged into this scenario. I'm 6'5". I'm pretty tall, so it's easy for me to get a little bit sort of round shoulder, a bit hunched, a bit low in my setup. So I think posture's key, because obviously we want to create some rotation in the back. There's a lot of rotation happens in the back during the actual swing, so we need to have that good spine angle to allow ourselves to turn and rotate a lot more freely and a lot more efficiently through the golf swing. So what I want to try and get you to feel here is just that little bit of flex in the knee. So again, we don't want to be sitting down. This is what I see a lot of people do, is they sit down to the ball, because they always know I've got to bend my knees, I've got to keep my head down, I end up in this sort of position here. So just a tiny bit of flex in these, just to take that strain out the back of your legs, out your hamstrings. A little bit of flex there, and then obviously we're going to feel like we're hinging from the hips. So as we hinge, you're going to feel like your bum sticks out, maybe like you're pulling the small of your back in, and then you're trying to feel like your chest is staying tall, and that gets us in that sort of natural spine angle position. So we're not too sort of this way, where the hips sort of tuck in, and the back gets a little bit rounded. Okay, so we're trying to feel more of that, feel like your chest is opening up a little bit into that sort of posture position. So you're going to probably feel quite tall when you do this for the first time. Okay, because imagine a few of you out there maybe just not quite as sharp on your posture as you possibly could be. So you might just feel a little sort of, well, very much sort of taller than what you would normally do. Okay, so just going back to that there, I've got that a little bit of knee flex, a little bit of hinge from the hips here, feel like your bum's sticking out a little bit, chest fairly tall here, so you get into that good posture sort of position. I can feel there that I can rotate quite easily and quite freely. Okay, just the last thing I maybe want you to think about here is just where the weight drops into your feet and into the ground. Okay, so we sort of, from early on, we talked about trying to get hand span away in terms of distance, but then I want to maybe just back that up a little bit and feel where that pressure is. Now, we want to try and feel that pressure dropping in the balls of your feet, okay, because that's going to allow us to sort of move, use the ground, and push off the ground as we actually make the golf swing. So again, I find a lot of golfers will sit back on the heels, so they tuck themselves in quite close to the golf ball, everything's a bit tight with the hands here, and then they all sit sort of back, very much squatting down, sitting back on the heels, and obviously that affects how the body rotates, how the weight shifts, and also strike issues come from that. So just really want to try and get you to feel that weight dropping in the balls of your feet. Tall posture, okay, and hopefully we're in a good sort of position to really sort of make a good sort of movement through the golf ball. So I'm just going to run through that pre-shot routine here for you now. So this is as I would do it out on the golf course here. So I'm stood behind the ball, I'll pick my point in front of the ball. So coming round to the golf ball, feet together, club face aiming at my point, grip on the club, ball position and stance, okay, a little bit of posture, okay, just check the target, check my weight position, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, nice straight shot to target. Okay, some very basics of setup here, but as you can imagine, it's very, very important to get these parts into position, because this is all going to help you to try and hit the target and get a good strike on the golf ball. Okay, please give this a go. Try it at the driving range first. Maybe treat each ball like you would do as if you're out on the golf course, so you're behind it, doing it for each golf ball you're hitting, so you're building into that routine there, and then, you know, just stick with it on the golf course. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps, and we'll see you all very soon.